Welcome to the Alaska World Affairs Council Presents on KSKA Anchorage. I'm Kristen Spack. The Alaska World Affairs Council brings the world to Alaska. World leaders, journalists, authors, educators, and entrepreneurs join Alaskans in a conversation about world affairs. This week, David Shorr from the Stanley Foundation speaks on Uncharted Waters, steering U.S. foreign policy through turbulent times. David Shorr is Program Officer in Policy Analysis and Dialogue at the Stanley Foundation, a private, nonprofit foundation focused on promoting and building support for principled multilateralism in addressing international issues. Through promoting public understanding, constructive dialogue, and cooperative action on critical international issues, the Stanley Foundation seeks sustainable peace built on world citizenship and effective global governance. Currently focused on national security strategy and the United States' role in the world, Mr. Shorr previously worked in Washington on a range of subjects including arms control, humanitarian crisis response, conflict resolution, and human rights. Mr. Shorr is a contributor to the foreign policy blog Democracy Arsenal, and he has published numerous essays on subjects related to his research at the Stanley Foundation. He is also an associate lecturer at the University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point, where he teaches U.S. foreign policy. A lifelong fan of pop music, Mr. Shorr has played guest DJ twice on NPR's World Cafe with his themed Top 5 song sets. After visiting West High School in Anchorage on Friday, December 5th, David Shorr spoke on Uncharted Waters, steering U.S. foreign policy through turbulent times, at the Alaska World Affairs Council in Anchorage, Alaska. During his talk, Mr. Shorr provided a slideshow presentation for the live audience. At various points throughout his speech, Mr. Shorr refers to the text on the screen, which I will read so that you can follow along. If you would like to view Mr. Shorr's visual presentation, you can find it on our website, kska.org. In partnership with the Alaska World Affairs Council, KSKA presents Program Officer in Policy Analysis and Dialogue at the Stanley Foundation, David Shorr.
Thank you. You do such a brilliant job of hosting. We've felt very welcome here. You must be used to by now seeing people from the lower 48. Always really happy to finally make it to Alaska and see for ourselves, and I'm certainly one of them. Let me pick up a little bit and tell a little bit more about the Stanley Foundation, and then about myself before going into the meat of the presentation. The Stanley Foundation is in Muscatine, Iowa. It's about 50 years old. It's not a grant-making foundation, but instead uses the resources to carry out our own programs with an emphasis, as Milton said, on international peace and security and international cooperation. Another thing about us, though, is that we do two things at once. We work with fellow full-time specialists in the foreign policy community, like myself, and we also very much believe in the importance of engaging the American public on these issues. And so I guess my being here checks both boxes. I'm what you call a U.S. foreign policy generalist. I thought I should explain what that is a little bit because I think it will help you understand the context of my remarks. We foreign policy generalists carry out a lot of the debate over ideas and a debate that sets the context for the orientation of foreign policy, some of its underlying assumptions and premises. We carry out this debate often in connection with domestic politics, whether as part of domestic politics or alongside it. And we also, I think, with some of the issues that we talk about,